Okay, folks, a few details before we get kicking into the auction. Remember that the silent auction is open until 9 p.m. tonight for you to make your bids. And there is a separate link for the live auction items that Angel is going to be talking about in a few minutes. Also, there is a link on the website for the MPA store. You can get your commemorative MPA wear. There's shirts, t-shirts, and sweatshirts, hats, and a really cool newsprint pattern face mask. So check that out if you have not already. So I was thinking, as I was preparing for this today, about upsides and downsides. So I think one of the upsides of having to do this virtually is your dinner is going to taste way better tonight. Another upside is your drinks are going to be way stronger and cost a lot less money. The downside is nobody's going to be buying your drinks tonight. However, MTMers in Masthead Media folks, don't despair. Lisa told me to tell you, you can expense all your gin and tonics that you drink during the presentation. What? No, that's not true. Did I just dream that? Sorry, Lisa. Must have been another one of those crazy COVID dreams. Okay. There was earlier today, sorry, disappearing for a second. Earlier today was the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And so on behalf of the Maine Press Association, I would like to extend our congratulations to the 2020 Hall of Fame inductees, Terry Carlisle and the late Arthur Guessman. Like I said, they were inducted in a virtual ceremony earlier this morning with Faith Ambrose and Linda Clancy and Diane. Next, we're going to move on to some technical stuff. So there's two avenues that you're in here tonight. You're either using your Zoom app or you're using the web browser. And you're all pretty, I can see, I can't read them all. The code word for free drinks is pickles. Nice, Lisa. I can't read all the text, but some of them are catching my eye. So most of you are already adept at using the chat function in Zoom. If you're not, there is a chat window icon down at the bottom of your app. You click on that, it opens a chat window, and in there you can type a message. You can send it to the whole group, or you can send it to one individual person. If you're in the web browser, that it has an everyone is default. If you click on that, you'll see a list of attendees. You could select one and send a private message just to that person. And if you are using the web browser and you want to send emojis, say, for example, at the end of a word, you want to send applause because we can't do the applause, which means I'm going to be done in record time tonight. I don't have to wait for anyone to clap. But if you want to send like a hand clapping emoji, you can do that via the chat messaging as well. If you're in the Zoom app, in the message field, in the chat window, top right, there's an emoji icon. You just click on that and you'll have your list of options. If you're in the web browser and you're on a PC, you go into the message window and you right click. And if you're on a Mac and you're on the web browser, you would hit Command, that's the Apple key, Command Control Spacebar while your cursor is in that message field, and it'll call up the window of emoji selections. So I think that's enough technical stuff for now. Where do we go next? Please hold. All right. So all the award winners tonight will receive their certificates and their plaques and a copy of the MPA award supplement by mail. And so I'd like to, or we'd like to give a special thanks to Chris Sobiek of Masthead, Maine, who has overseen the printing, the sorting, and will oversee the mailing of all those things. So thank you, Chris, for your hard work on that. Also, we'd like to give a shout out and a huge thanks to Chris Crockett and his crew from the Ellsworth American for producing and printing the award supplement that you'll all see in the mail soon. All right, that's about it for opening stuff. So I guess it is time for us to move on to the amazingly awesome auctioneer, Angel.
All right, I'm pressing a button. Oh, I'm here. Start my video. All right. Hey, I'm like a tiny little bit nervous, but I've got my Dana Scully action figure. Like I'm ready to rock. For those who don't know me, I'm Angel from the Portland Press Herald. And last year was in person, and I was fine. I think I had a whiskey. Now I'm just drinking seltzer, and I'm a nervous wreck. So here's the good news. We have great stuff. It's not going to take too long. I'm probably going to press a couple buttons wrong because I have to like walk, chew gum, and snap my fingers. I know I'm going to press a couple buttons. I'm going to get text saying, we can't hear you. Something's going to happen. Or we're just going to go with it. Because this is all about raising money for the Maine Press Association Auction Fund. I'm also going to talk slower, but not too slow. Anyway, last year, we raised so much money that this year we were able to give out 5 $1,000 scholarships, which is amazing because journalism students, like the future of journalism, we got to keep it going. So that is great. All right. So bidding, it's real simple. We'll spend we'll see how it goes. We'll kind of improv here, but a minute or two on each item. We've got 8 items. If you want to bid, you just type it in the text box, right? The chat box. Winning bidder will get an email notification. We'll reach out to you. You'll give us your money. We'll send you the stuff, or you'll pick it up, or whatever. We'll figure it out. So this is all in the name of scholarship funds. And by the way, definitely hit the MPA store. These masks, these are newsprint. How cool are these? Right? Hand stitched by the elves at the Booth Bay Register. So you can buy these $10 each or 3 for $25. They're huge. They're awesome. So well made. Like, look at the inside. There's another piece of fabric. So, and we're also going to auction some of these off in a package. So I think we're going to go to our first item. This is so weird. I'm with you, Greg. Not hearing anyone saying anything or making weird faces is kind of surreal. I know surreal is a overused word during the pandemic, but there it is. At least I didn't say pivot. All right. So I'm going to hopefully press a button and make something show up. And then I'm probably going to disappear and I'm going to panic and I have to press another button to make myself reappear. So let's hope for the best. Let's start the live auction of the 2020 MPA. All right, here we go. The awards. Here we go. Conference, whatever this is. Press this and press this. And I press this button. And I'm back. I think I'm frozen. I think I might be frozen. I'm feeling like I don't know. Somebody write me a note on here. Am I frozen? Because I feel frozen. Like frozen. Not in a Disney. All right, well, I'm going to go with the fact that my screen is frozen, but we're just going to go right ahead. All right. And I know it's 25 years old, but I had to just show me the money because remember all the stuff, this is all going to the scholarship fund. So I'm going to press another button, hopefully. All right. Hopefully you can all see a whole bunch of ice cream. Yes, I'm going to just assume that you can because, again, my screen is a little frozen, which is perfect because it's an ice cream theme. And oh, there's Tom Cruise again because I have my cursor all cockamamie. All right. So this is 52 freaking quarts of ice cream. If there's one thing that we've learned to do during the pandemic, I don't have a script. I'm completely making this up, is binge on a lot of food. And why wouldn't we? Netflix and binge. Not this Netflix and chill stuff. It's Netflix and binge. So 52 quarts of ice cream. You can share it. You can keep it to yourself. You might need to get a second freezer, So this has a value of about $275. So I think that at the very least, we could start the bidding at like $75. So who out there, if you want to bid look at its magic is happening. Look at this. We're already at $80. We're already at $100. This is so cool. We're at $125 for a year of ice cream. 100. We're at 100. I don't even have to do anything. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm going to take my dog for a walk. Can it be picked up and where? I haven't the slightest idea, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that these are going to be like a gift certificate, gift card type of situation. that you like. Maybe it's going to be 52 gift certificates for a quart of ice cream that you bring to your handy or something like that. Oh, they're coupons. It's convenient. We are all about convenience here at the Maine Press Association. Bidding wars. Come on, let's go. We are, yeah, you get 52 coupons for 52 quarts of ice cream good through July of next year. So yeah, just ice cream all the time. So we are at, I got to scroll, we're at $150. Does anyone want to go like 160? 160? Yeah, are you going to make me do the cliche going once, going twice thing? All right, I'm gonna just stand here. 160. Oh, we have two people at 160. I don't know what happens when we do that. We're gonna have to flip a coin. 175. Lisa's getting harassed. I love it. The chat thing is fun here. Well, we're at $175 for a year's worth of ice cream. I'm feeling good about this. And, you know, because we went through many dry runs, but we didn't quite nail down, like, how long should I give this? So I'm going to just make it up and say, how about we give this another 30 seconds? Because we have other items to get through, and not to mention a whole awards thing. We want to get you out of here by about 6. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to say 175 going once. If you want to get another bid in there, you know, now's the time. And it's 100. Oh, Allie McCann coming through with $185. You guys are going to make me get all teary. We are $200. Thank you, Kip. $200 holding steady. All right. Is this the Commodores? Once, twice, 3 times a lady? Where are we at? This is $200. I feel good about the $200. So once, twice. This is it. This is for all the ice cream. So much. Lisa DeSisto, you kill me. We're at $205. I know where she lives, by the way, so we can just go break into her house, pet the alpaca, and steal the ice cream. So this is a win-win for all of us. $206. How about $215? Lisa's at $210. I was going to say who's going to go to $225, and it just happened. You know what? We're just doing the ice cream. The heck with the other auction items. I'm kidding. We got to land this plane fairly soon, though. Does anyone want to hit me at $225? Because we're at $211 right now, going once.
Jody has $225.
Oh, I'm not seeing that $225. Oh, there it is, $230. Courtney Spencer, last minute here. Okay, this is the most fun I've ever had in my life. We're going to try to land the plane. We're at $240. We're going to land the ice cream plane or crash the ice cream truck. You know, I feel like my puns are not great tonight, but we're going to try it anyways. Anyone? $240. We're holding at $240 for a year of ice cream. Anyone? This is for the journalism students, because we all can't work forever. You know, we all have to like hang it up at some point. Oh, how about $250? Anyone? Anyone? A year of ice cream. This is 52 quarts of ice cream. The flavor possibility. Giffords, the iconic Maine brand. Great cause. Anyone? I think we're at $240. Going once? All right, this is going to happen. There's no gavel. I'm not going to make a sound effect and like cause people to have ear pain. All right, going once, going twice. I'm feeling good about this. $240. Jody Jalbert, thank you. You are going to, and we're going to secretly just text everybody where you live. And we're all going to just come get your ice cream. No, but for real, thank you so much. This is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm getting messages and I don't know what this means. Oh, people are clapping. This is beautiful. All right, so that's auction number 1. We just made $240, everyone, and that is really awesome. So thank you very much. And you know what? I'm looking at the clock. I'm starting to panic. I'm going to press a button. Fisherman's Wharf. Now, let me tell you, I do an event. I have a side hustle for a radio station, and I spend 3 days in Boothbay Harbor every year, and I know every single place, including this place. Fisherman's Wharf, right on the water, across the footbridge, 2-night stay with the dining credit, meaning I guess that means you're going to get some food out of the deal. Boothbay Harbor sells itself, the Mid-Coast, my beloved Mid-Coast. This is worth like $500. So we are now on to the second item, auction item officially. Fisherman's Wharf, 2-night stay with dining credit, Boothbay Harbor. All right, I'm at $100 without even having to do anything. That's amazing. $200. This is the most fun I've ever had in my life. We are $200. Thank you, Stephanie. Alan McCann, $250. $300. I'm just going to sit here and just watch the money pour in. It's from like Evita. The money keeps rolling in from all directions for any of you musical fans out there. It's raining money. We're at $400 from Courtney Spencer for 2 nights with dining credit. I assume they give you, they're throwing a couple meals at you anyway. $400. We are holding steady, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. The Mid-Coast. Everyone needs, a holiday. Just to quote Chicago. What song is that? Hard for me to say. I'm sorry. Yeah, we all need to get away. Judy Meyer, $450. Thank you, Judy. This is, again, I've never had more fun. I'm talking fast now, but now I'm in auctioneer mode, so we're just going to go with it. $450, Judy Meyer. Anyone else? 2-night stay, food, Fisherman's Wharf. Oh, Courtney Spencer, $500. $500. That is amazing. That is a full asking price, not to get all real estate. I don't know if they give you all that you can eat shrimp. Maybe you could try to sweet talk them. We're at $500, which is full asking price, which is so great. This is for the future of journalism students in the state of Maine. So I'm feeling good about the $500. Does anyone else want? We're gonna land this plane. We got to. We keep it going here. So going once. Anyone? All right. Where's Dana Scully? It's official. It is official. $500, Courtney Spencer. Thank you so much. This is so awesome. We're making so much money for the scholarship fund. Not to mention, if you don't get an auction item, don't sweat it. Just head to the store and buy a bunch of stuff there, like the masks and all sorts of hats and t-shirts. It's just great. All right. Yay, Courtney. All right. I'm going to press another button. All right. I've got 2 of these. We're going to do these individually. We're going to try to go through them quickly. Everything you see here, you can also buy at the store. So we've got package number 1, size small t-shirt. Let me see if I don't screw this up. What are my notes? Let me read my notes. No, a size small hoodie. See, I take notes. Size small hoodie, and then a small or medium, your choice, t-shirt, and then a dozen masks, because the mask thing that's happening for a while, let's face it. A dozen masks in 4 medium, small, 4 medium, and 4 large. Yeah, I'm already starting to just fall apart here. So this is an amazing package of stuff, all Maine Press Association gear to impress your friends with. And it looks like this is worth about $165. So, all right, we've got $100 already. Suzette, thank you. Am I reading these notes right? Yeah, I am. We got $100 for the Newsy Trio number 1. Hoodie, t-shirt, and a dozen masks. That's a pretty good deal. $100. Anyone? 110? 110? Come on. Oh, Lisa DeSisto, 125. This is super fun, right? You're all like, this is the worst thing I've ever experienced. This is a super fun thing, right? And I also, while we're at it, I've got Trinity from the Matrix here too. And the final one is I've got Princess Leia. That's all of my desk accessories. Well, it's some of them at least. I'm working from home. I'm just trying to make it work. Where are we? We're at $125 still for the Newsy Trio number 1. All right. Suzette, $140. Awesome. Awesome. Anyone? Anyone would just do $150 just for me? For the kids. Me and the kids. Come on. $150. No? All right, that's right, because we got another one we're gonna do in a second. So we're gonna you know what? Unicorn action figure is calling this auction closed. $140. Thank you so much, Suzette. And yeah, we can get you a medium shirt. That's fine. And you'll get an email, and it's all yay, awesome. And we're just going to stay right here because with the same exact package, just a slightly different size configuration. Let me just look at my sheet. It is a medium hoodie, a t-shirt in large or extra large, and a dozen masks. Again, $165 value. Anyone, a reminder, you can get all this stuff on the store for the, go shopping on the MPA store. But all right, where are we? How about $100? Anybody got $100 for this? For the Newsy Trio number 2. Come on, hoodie, t-shirt, and a 12 masks. The masks alone. These are hand stitched by our friends at the Booth Bay Register. $100, $75. Where's everybody's wallets? Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. How much for Trinity of the Matrix? You know what? Priceless. I'm never selling Trinity, but nice try, Cliff. In fact, I have other things I could show you, but we're not that far. We're good. $90 from Steven. Except we're already at 100. I like where you're going, Steven. I like to try to, just get a bid in there. But Madeline has taken over. Oh, we're at a tie. We're neck and neck. Steven and Madeline. So somebody needs to break that tie. Let me have 115. Come on. I'm looking at you. Yeah, you. Come on, 115, Steven. Excellent. 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 115 bucks for news. 116 bucks. You outbid yourself. I love it. 116. Anyone? We've got, let me scroll down here. Lisa comes in with 120. How about $1.25? $1.25, anyone? For the Newsy Trio number 2. Hoodie, t-shirt, a dozen masks. A dozen. That's 12 masks. Come on, people. All right, we're 120 bucks. All right, I'm feeling like this is a good place. 120. All right. Newsy Trio number 2. Lisa DeSisto, 120 bucks. Thank you, Lisa. Yep, you're regifting them, and I already have one, but yeah, these masks, so great. So great. All right, well, great. This is great. We're like cruising right along. I'm going to press a button. We're on fire now, everybody. Now that everyone's like, you know what? Maybe I'll spend money too. Now you're all thinking like, I want something. You're getting all competitive and weird, aren't you, as you're sitting there? Seaside getaway, 3-night stay, Little John Island. I Googled it. It's like the Yarmouth area, and it's real pretty. This is a second-floor studio apartment. You're on the water. It's completely gorgeous. And Stephanie, man, bidding's already started? You guys are killing me. Should I just type my credit card in the chat? Stephanie Manning, 300 bucks. This thing is valued at about 600 bucks. It sleeps 4 people. You're on the water. You can get there by kayak. You can drive there. You can ride your bike there. And there's, subject to availability, but the owner's been really generous about it. And look at these pictures. This is beautiful. This is absolutely, what a cool hangout. And whoever wins it, if you want to regift it, I'm completely available, or I'll be your getaway pal. So we are at $300. Let me scroll down. How about $350, you guys? This thing is worth, 600, upwards of 600 bucks, and it's a 3-night stay. Endless possibilities. Oh, I have to scroll down. Oh, we're at $425. Yeah, I have to learn to press this button a little better. All of a sudden, we're at $425. We're at $450. And yes, Courtney, it is very beautiful. Can they give us more stays? Well, you can tack on more days, from what I understand. You have to pay for them, you can tack on more days. But, there's kayaks being offered. I love the energy of this thing. It's for the children. Yes, Stephanie, this is, I believe the children are our future. Not to get all Whitney on people, but I'm playing the Whitney card. So we are at $475. I love it. It's worth about 600 bucks. It's a 3-night stay. You could just chuck your phone into Casco Bay, because you'll be looking out at Casco Bay, and you could just throw your phone right in the water and just completely unplug and not deal with anything for 3 whole days. You won't even have to wear a mask. You can just hang out and just be you. Just do you. Just, I have a song reference for everything. Yes, I do. $525. Judy, you are a rock star. Complete rock star. I'm happy to do a second 2-night stay. Linda, you're the donor of this thing, aren't you? Let me just get a verification that Linda Verrill, you're the person who is actually, wow. Well, all right. Well, hold on. It's her. Okay. Whoa. All right. So I'm going to close auction number 1. This is so cool. And I'm going to make this up, the rules as I go along here. So we've got $525 to Judy. Thank you very much. You've got a 3-night stay. So boom. So that's considered buttoned up. And now we are going to segue into improvised auction number 2, a 2-night stay. Thank you, Linda. That is profoundly generous. We're going to do a 2-night stay. So I'm calling that around 400-ish value. Unbelievable. Oh, 3 nights. She's doing another 3-night stay. Linda, unbelievable. Look. So all right, I want another $500 this or something. What do you got out there? So the first one sold for $525, another 3-night stay. Linda, this is unbelievable. You are just amazing. It is so profoundly generous of you. So we have another 3-night stay. Look at all these pictures. Look, this place is a magical getaway. And if it's like close-ish, even whether you're in Augusta or Portland, it's not too far from really anywhere. Must love dogs. Does that mean dogs are allowed? Or is it dog themed? Either way, I'm in. Who's got, all right, let's see, do I have any bids on this thing? I don't know if I see any bids. All right, who's got $300 for me? $300 for another 3-night. All right, good. Thank you, Allie. All right, we're going to stay focused and bomb through this auction. $300 because I know the awards, everyone's here for the awards. $325. All right, come on, $350 people, 3-night stay. This is just the same package. Linda has on the spot offered up. Thank you, Stephanie Manning, $400. Absolutely awesome. Do I happen to see 425? I'm looking at you. Yes, I am. 425. Anyone? No, I'm not going to start singing, but I might snap a little. I'm feeling pretty good, but we got a couple more things we got to get to. And, you know, I'm supposed to be done by 4:30 and I'm already 5 minutes over, but let's just blame that all on Greg because he went long, so it's not my fault. Love you, Greg. Kidding. And the bow tie mask combo, sharp. Can I go back to the seaside getaway pick? Oh, I clicked something, didn't I? I'm so hyper, I'm clicking everything. All right, I think we are at $400. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So last chance, like 10 seconds on the clock here. It's like supermarket sweep. You better just go down the spice aisle and just get your arm and just swoop it all in because we got it. We're all right. Boom, boom, boom. $400, Stephanie Manning. This is like bonus. This is like this. We're gonna whole other scholarship out of this. This is a bonus auction. So cool. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Let me just make sure that nothing else is happening. Yay, awesome. Thank you so much, Linda. That's just really just we're all at a collective loss here. You can't hear us, but we're all like, oh my God, like so awesome. All right, so that is buttoned up. Thank you very much. We're going to click another button. This is gorgeous. I already have a few people in mind for this that I think are going to bid on this, and I'm going to see if I'm right. This is courtesy of the, where am I? The Colère collection of Falmouth. This is a cashmere wrap, right? And this metallic, this really funky, really cool necklace. I can completely picture this on somebody. And the bidding, I haven't even done anything. The bidding is already at $100. This thing is valued at, I can't read my own writing, around $160. And we're already at $125. Keep this, re-gift it. Absolutely gorgeous. Plus, if you're like, you know, I have a blanket usually when I'm at my desk because it's a little chilly here in the corner in the home office. So like I can see a cashmere wrap being a nice thing to have to like snug in at the home office. So beautiful. And it's very kind of them to donate this. So it's a cashmere wrap and a necklace. You could keep the wrap and re-gift the necklace. Re-gift the necklace, you know, do whatever you want with it. Because let's see. Where are we at? We are $125. Anyone else? I'm feeling good, but maybe another $10. Anyone? 135. The cashmere. Did I mention cashmere? It's cashmere, people. Cashmere. All right, it's not cheap. It doesn't grow on trees, or does it? What is cashmere? Cashmere does not grow on trees. So, and it's gift wrapped. It's gift wrapped. All right, come on. See, I believed in you, Sandy, and you came through. We're at $130. I think the landing gear is down on this. I got to let go of this plane analogy. I can't help it. I'm like stuck on it. 135. You guys are the 100. Wait a minute. Where are we? 100. I know that you didn't mean 1450. Yeah, okay, right. $140 for Linda. Thank you. Feeling good about the 140, like 10 seconds, something like that. I'm just gonna, let's have an awkward pause and see if anything else comes in. I can't go a whole 10 seconds. The ADD just it won't let me, but go away. All right, I'm feeling good about Linda. $140, cashmere wrap and the necklace. Thank you very much. Again, if you win an auction, we'll email you. We will come knocking at your door via email. Thank you. That's really great. And thank you again to the Colère collection in Falmouth. All right. We've got two more. We're almost done. Back in Booth Bay Harbor. We are rocking in the free world and rocking up in Booth Bay Harbor. And let me tell you, as somebody who spends 3 days there every single Labor Day weekend, except this one, they do know how to party there. They get a little problem in Booth Bay Harbor, but we love them. Booth Bay Register, I'm kidding completely, but kind of, but not really. The Tugboat Inn. All right, so I actually just read a short story book, a book of short stories that take place it's like mid-coast hauntings or something. So there's actually the Tugboat Inn is kind of haunted in like a cool way. So if you're into that paranormal stuff, which why wouldn't you be? The Tugboat Inn, apparently there's some kind of ghost situation, which for me makes it all the more appealing. I've been there. I've had drinks there. I've stayed across the street from it. It's a really cool place. And yeah, it's part of it is made from an old boat. So the Tugboat Inn, really cool place. And this is 2 nights with dining credit, valued at around $500. Let's see. Do I already have any pre-bids? Where am I? Blah, 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 blah. All right. Well, I mean, somebody just type in $100 while we're sitting here. I'm going to type in $100 while we're sitting here because I'm not going to wait through all day. There's $100. That's me. All right. Good. $150. Thank you, Sarah. Sorry, Sandy, but $1.75. Anyone? Bueller? Come on, come on, come on. Lisa's at 175, but then again, so is, I don't know, Lisa's in first place, $175. 2-night stay with a dining credit. So food, and you're at the cool end of the, I can't remember what street that is, but the water street of Boothbay Harbor. And then you can walk down and see all the shops and all that stuff. Over $225. Judy just left right over JW. Sorry, Allie, but well, that was Phil, not Judy. I don't know what's happening right now. $225 we are at, and I think it's Phil, but it could be Judy because now I'm a little confused by what I'm seeing here. $225. This is a good deal. 2 nights at the Tugboat Inn, Boothbay Harbor with a food situation. $250. Allie, love it. Vacation, all I ever wanted, just to get a little Go-Go's on you, who just put out a new song that's really great, by the way. Listen to it later. Lobster bisque and baked stuff haddock was delicious, says Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, for the pro dining tip. We are at, we're only $435 away from $2,500, you guys. This is really awesome. Where are we at? I've lost complete track. I don't even know where we are. We are at $275. Is that right? Yeah, $275. Yeah. We're holding at $275. I sure would love to see, can I do a playlist for the weekend? I got a bunch of them. East Coast Amesel on wherever. No, Amesel Bonte on Spotify. I'm the playlist queen. Where are we? $275. I'm just trying to distract you so you'll just accidentally hit buttons and like all of a sudden we're up to $450. We're $275 right now. Can we get this to $300? The clock is ticking. The awards anticipation is really building. $300. Allie McCann, just rock star with a denim jacket. Nobody rocks a denim jacket like Allie McCann. Let me just tell you that right now. Where are we? Are $300. I think we need to put like 30 seconds on this thing. We're going to just gaze into the crystal salt thing. No, we're not, because the cord doesn't reach. We are just going to just sit here and contemplate because we are at $300. I'm feeling good about that, but I'm going to give this like another 10 seconds while I clutter a bunch of loud stuff on my desk. All right. Another 10 seconds on this. 2 nights with food, Tugboat Inn, Boothbay Harbor. All right, $300. Well done, Allie. Well done. And if you don't want to go, I'll just go for you because, all right. So thank you. Congrats, Allie. Now we come to the final thing, and it's a year of beer, or basically, yeah, it's like a massive amount of beer. So I can't remember who won the ice cream, but you could just go all in and just do nothing but eat and drink. Because, again, why not? I mean, get your work done, sure, get your work done, but then just eat and drink because we're in a pandemic, and, eat, drink, and watch TV. And go for walks. So this is a $300 gift card to Shipyard. You can spend it however you darn well please. They make a ton of beer. They're like an institution. They're one of the oldest brewers, if not the oldest, in Maine. And they are over $200. They have amazing beer. They do. It tastes much better than my Hannaford Seltzer. Let me tell you that right now. But this is our final thing. And again, I know it's beer, but it's for the children. It's for the future journalism students. Okay? Yes, they need your money because college is like a $50 bazillion, at least 50 bazillion. Okay? So no malarkey here, because here's the deal. They need the scholarship funds, all right? So no malarkey, just money. We've broken $2,000, everybody. I just I just got an official memo here about this. Excellent. That's awesome. So we're $225 for a year of beer. Kip, thank you very much. We're at $225. This is the last one of the night, the last auction item of the night. But please, the silent auction, which I have talked very little about. So while I have people thinking about beer for a minute, the silent auction, forgive me, I've been so hysterical about the live auction. I haven't given the silent auction much the way of shout outs. So real quick, a competition is hot. The whoopie pies. There's a dozen whoopie pies. It says $45. Somebody out there really wants it, but let's bump that up. There's beer. There's a moose puzzle, business card holder, all sorts of cool ski caps of the different papers, game nights, an LL Bean gift card, a Mine Oyster that's in Boothbay Harbor, a gift card, a Red Sox collector clock. So just check that out. And that thing, you have plenty of time to bid on that stuff. There's a was a clock. That's kind of cool. Soap and perfume, a Yeti Rambler, a Stephen King thing. So yeah, so please, that's my official plug for the silent auction. But right now we're talking about beer, and I've gone away from the chat, and now I'm looking up here. We are at $225. All right, I think we're gonna empty the keg. No, that's a terrible beer pun. But yeah, there's going to be no puns. We're at $225. We'll give this another 10 seconds for a year of beer, $300 gift card. You know, what a Christmas gift that would make. Holiday gift, I'll be inclusive. What a holiday gift that would make for somebody out there. We're at $225. I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, yes, it's Linda versus Diane for those whoopie pies. Oof. Yeah. Again, head to the silent auction. Every single nickel of this all goes towards the, say it with me, scholarship fund. Grin and beer it. Yes, Greg for the pun win. That's hilarious. All right, come on. All right, 220. I'm feeling good about the $225. Somebody got a good deal, and they're getting a lot of beer, and it's helping the scholarship. So, all right, we're just going to do it. Kip Wright can't be wrong with a $300 Shipyard gift card. So, wow. So, thank you. Now, here's the part where I press a button and I don't know, something weird might happen, but hopefully it won't. Am I still here? I'm still here. All right. What's hilarious is I've been frozen this entire time. So I'm like with this like wacky look on my face. Thank you very much, everyone, for all of your generosity and just as much for dealing with me, because I feel a little bit nutty right now. I sent my dog next door to my neighbor's house, and I said to my spouse, I'm like, I'm doing this thing, and I'm like nervous and weird, and now we're done, and we've raised the huge pile of cash for the scholarship fund. Please, though, hit the store, buy stuff on the store, bid on the silent auction items, and now we'll have a Zen moment as I pass this very hot mic with sincere gratitude back to my good friend and snappy dresser, Mr. Greg Reck. This is Amsel Ponte saying over and out. Thank you. Good night. And now I'll probably be here awkwardly until somebody else presses a button. Ponte out.
Amsel, awesome job. You were born to be an auctioneer. No, the Unabomber has not entered the awards presentation, although I could tell you a story about that. I'm in hiding. You see, word get out that I was emceeing this MPA thing, and all the parents of high school athletes in my neighborhood started chasing me down the road. I tried to tell them, it's not that MPA. It's not the Maine Principals Association. It's the Maine Press. No, I'm really here to say awesome hoodies available with the Adapt, Adjust, Inform theme at the store. So now that the live auction's over, and you can go to the silent auction items, and you can go to the store and check out the MPA commemorative wear. All right, so I knew that emceeing this presentation was going to be an interesting experience. It's really hard to be humorous into the void. I had debated forcing my kids to sit in the room so I could get some feedback laughter at the jokes, but then I remembered my kids don't laugh at my jokes anymore. They just groan. Oh, wait, this just in? Oh, I just read Steve Greenlee's mind. It just said, yeah, so do we all, Greg. Okay. We are going to, I just want to bring up one more thing before we move into outgoing President J.W. Oliver is going to say a few words. Incoming President Linda Clancy is going to say a few words. I just want to talk a little bit about the structure of how this is working tonight. So many of the segments have been pre-recorded, and there's a good reason for that. It is, how many times have we been on Zoom calls and somebody's audio drops out, or they start sounding like a robot, or the video drops. So there's like too many variables to do the whole thing live. So, like the speakers we're going to hear, those have been pre-recorded. And actually, all of my award segments have been pre-recorded. So before you hop on me about like lip syncing to the halftime show at the Super Bowl, there were very good technical reasons to do it. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, some segments are recorded, but I'll always be back live. So we are going to hear from outgoing President J.W. Oliver. Thank you, JW, for your service. And right after that, we will hear from incoming President Linda Clancy.
Welcome to the 2020 Maine Press Association Awards Ceremony. My name is J.W. Oliver. I'm the editor of the Lincoln County News and the outgoing president of the Maine Press Association. The 2019-2020 term was unusual for the Maine Press Association, as it was for every other organization. The first several months since our last conference consisted of our usual business, such as advocating for our members' interests in the state legislature. The coronavirus forced us to meet remotely and eventually to cancel our in-person conference in Bar Harbor and plan this, our first virtual conference, instead. Special thanks go to Linda Clancy, Chris Crockett, and Diane Norton for leading our efforts to create this virtual experience. I also want to recognize outgoing board member Faith DeAmbrose. Faith was on the board for 6 years. She was president for the 2017-2018 term and, more recently, chaired our Hall of Fame committee. She has shown extraordinary commitment to our work. Faith, normally I would present you with a gift now, but we'll deliver it to you instead. Finally, I want to say it was an honor to serve as president of the Maine Press Association. I have tremendous respect for you, our members, and the people who work in the Maine newspaper industry, and for the hard and necessary work you do. The work you have all done the last 7 months, under a level of pressure most in the public do not understand, is awe-inspiring, and I look forward to joining you as we recognize that work tonight. I encourage anyone out there who has an interest in the association's work to contact Diane or any board member and get involved. We need you. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce the incoming president of the Maine Press Association, Linda Clancy.
W. Hello, I'm Linda Clancy, editorial director at penbaypilot.com in Camden, and MPA's incoming board president. The board represents weeklies and dailies and independent journalists, with a common dedication to the Fourth Estate. Luckily, the board bylaws are organized so that presidents cycle in and out on an annual basis, with someone always next in line. And there has been no better role model than JW. A calm voice of reason, he is a leader who is a master of the pregnant pause, an unflappable and thoughtful captain at the helm. During his time on the MPA board, JW earned the distinction of Journalist of the Year, and, even more importantly, with his wife Rachel, welcomed a new baby to their growing family. We thank JW for his committed board service. As a token of our appreciation, we are giving him a gift certificate for a meal at his favorite Damerscotta restaurant. JW, maybe you and Rachel can steal away for a few hours. With all our hearts, thank you. We also thank Chris Sobiak of Masthead, Maine for her ever-present behind-the-scenes assistance. Chris expertly manages the production of the hundreds of the award certificates and will be mailing them to all of our winners with this year's award supplement. We are giving Chris a token of our appreciation for always being there for the sake of MPA. Thank you, Chris. And there's one more very important person who works behind the scenes on behalf of MPA. Diane Norton is our fearless executive director. She has been helping to steer this ship for 7 years and does it admirably well, without fuss. When we made the decision to go virtual with the conference this year, we did collectively gulp. But Diane anticipated the realities of life during a pandemic and was already making strides locating virtual conference hosts. She puts form to function and is equally gracious and fun as she lassos details and wrangles them all into order. Diane, thank you so much, and we've got something for you, and we hope you enjoy it. Finally, I'm going to introduce the MPA board members themselves. Rob Montana, Kennebec Journal, Chris Crockett, Ellsworth American, Nick McRae, Times Record, Linda Verrill, Broadreach Public Relations, Jennifer Holmes, Bangor Daily News, Dan Dinsmore, Pine Tree Watch, Sarah Morley, Booth Bay Register, Dr. Sindhu Manjesh, University of Maine, and Courtney Spencer, Masthead, Maine. As we look forward to 2021, we will continue advocating for Maine's press at the State House, in committees and testifying when needed. We accomplished much in 2020, ensuring journalists remain classified as essential workers during the early days of the pandemic, advocating for open government proceedings during a time of crisis, and always advocating in multiple venues for freedom of access. We aim to keep the momentum going, and no matter the circumstances dealt by COVID-19. And because we're in the virtual age, MPA is building a year's worth of programs for our membership. Workshops on FOIAs, on photography, on sales, on new rules governing marijuana advertising, roundtables for reporters, editors, circulation and advertising staff, and more. We will keep you informed about that schedule, which begins in January. Thank you. And now I'm going to hand the mic back to Greg, our esteemed Master of Ceremonies. Thank you, Greg.
Whoa, the video looks weird, but that's okay. I'm sometimes distorted in my own brain. So huge heartfelt thanks to JW and Linda and the rest of the MPA board for all the work that they do and will be doing over the coming year. We're going to move on. Our first guest speaker this evening is a man whose voice is by now well known to just about everyone across the state. Before the pandemic filled our pages with articles and public service announcements, reporters may have only occasionally spoken with the head of the Maine Center for Disease Control, but it wasn't an agency that was regularly on our radar. Now we have a daily working relationship with the CDC as we report on the pandemic, and Dr. Nirav Shah has become the voice of the Maine CDC as we move through these days of COVID-19. Dr. Shah is a voice of reason and knowledge, and he puts himself before the press daily with consistency, answering our questions with frankness, and respecting our jobs as journalists. He's earned high regard not only from our colleagues who work with him in these daily briefings, but also from many people across the state of Maine. We would like to thank Dr. Shah for speaking with us tonight.
Hi, everyone. This is Nirav Shah from the Maine CDC. Thank you all for the opportunity to join you virtually at this year's Maine Press Association annual conference. Really delighted to be able to chat with everyone for a few minutes. Let me first start off by congratulating the Maine Press Association. As I understand it, it was established in 1864 during a time period when our nation was going through another time of tumult and radical change. This year is no different. Indeed, this year's theme, to adapt, adjust, and inform, really typifies the work that each and every one of you is doing every day. You know, during our press briefings and our twice weekly meetings, I refer to all of you as our colleagues in the media. I don't do that to be glib at all. I genuinely consider each and every one of you to be my colleagues in the sense that we are all attempting to communicate accurate, timely information about COVID-19 with appropriate context. That is a critical part of our entire state's response to this pandemic. As we've all seen, misinformation or data that are presented without the appropriate context can be just as harmful as the virus itself. Each of you plays a critical role in helping me enforce that every single number, every single data point, every single statistic represents a person. As I'd like to point out, we would not be able to do the job that we are doing at the Maine CDC were it not for your partnership with us, both asking me tough questions as well as helping us tell the story of what is happening right now. So I'd like to thank all of you for helping us write the first draft of the history of COVID-19 in Maine. Have a great annual meeting. Thank you for letting me take part in it today.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. And we will move on to our keynote speaker tonight. The Maine Press Association is happy to welcome Suzette Standring as our conference keynote speaker. And yes, you did just hear my dog barking. When we first asked Suzette to join us, our sights have been firmly focused on gathering in person, as usual, in Bar Harbor for our fall conference. A virus with pandemic proportions yet to cross our radar. Suzette, who's the executive director of the National Society of Newspaper Columnists, who's looking forward to joining us in Maine in autumn, which is really the best time of year up here because the tourists are lighter and, well, it's just. But the pandemic upended those plans like it's done to so many others. And here we are in our virtual capacities. And Suzette has graciously accommodated our abrupt change in venue and agreed to address us from her home in Massachusetts. Suzette is a San Francisco native. She moved to the East Coast in 1996 and has been a columnist for decades. She has been syndicated nationally through Gatehouse Media since 2008 and has published books on the art of opinion writing and column writing. She is sharp and insightful, both as an award-winning writer and as a thoughtful teacher. And so thank you, Suzette, for speaking with us at our awards presentation.
Greetings, and thank you to Linda Varell and Linda Clancy for allowing me to address my colleagues today. My name is Suzette Martinez-Standring, and I've been a journalist for 25 years, long active with the National Society of Newspaper Columnists, of which I am one of their past presidents. I originally hail from San Francisco, and I moved to New England in 1996. And whenever I visit Maine, I find that it just captures my heart with its charming architecture, its breathtaking scenery, Cole Haan shoe outlet, but it's the intangibles that really move my spirit. The outspoken and direct way of Mainers. Oh, I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. Mainers. Your fierce independence, the way your newspapers allow everyone to make up their own damn mind based on the facts. And I especially love how local newspapers capture a sense of place, of community, and people. For example, I think it's fantastic that Peter Geiger will still continue to give out thousands of king-size chocolate candy bars at Halloween. In fact, I'm 4'10" and I'm thinking of putting on a costume and getting in on a little of that action. And speaking of Fright Night, it appears that ours is never ending. Doesn't it feel like we journalists are starring in a white-knuckle suspense thriller where the question remains, what is to become of them? Let's just look at a few of the statistics. More than half of all United States newspapers have changed owners in the past decade, and in 2018, just 25 companies own 2/3 of all daily newspapers. Of the surviving 7,200 newspapers in the United States, 1,000 of them qualify as ghost newspapers, where serious understaffing has compromised their effectiveness. More than 500 of the 1,800 newspapers that have closed or merged since 2004 have been in rural counties. Are we dying? No. I believe this is evolution in progress, and more than ever, we are vital. I'm 66, and I know that the news will be consumed in ways that will be less recognizable to baby boomers and to maybe even some Gen Xers. We live in a 24/7, I want it now, information age. The shape and form of newspaper and commentary and reporting are being transformed, and within the principles of evolution, only the strong will survive. But we must maintain our strong and uncompromising mission, and that is to hold the powerful accountable. And that has not changed. It has only taken a new form. Even as I speak, a new generation of journalists are bringing innovative ideas and technology to protect and to sustain our corner of democracy. Movements are afoot to protect the integrity of newsrooms as reporters successfully form unions at newspapers like the Dallas Morning News and other newspapers that include the Boston Globe. PEN America and other journalism organizations are drafting a proposed bill to the U.S. Senate to form and develop a future local news commission, which is intended to preserve our industry. In true new journalism fashion, we are writing our own story, where the hero faces almost insurmountable odds. Misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, attacks from the highest level, and foreign interference. We are going through permutations to stay alive, to maintain democracy, and how it ends still remains a distant result, but make no mistake, everyone here is a hero, and all that we continue to do and represent is heroic. We are fighting the odds. And I tend to liken it to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who in her later career was often part of the minority dissenting opinion. But she reasoned that decisions that were made based on expediency or popularity would prove destructive. And I feel that her wisdom is proving prophetic. We deliver news in a professional, responsible, and accurate manner. And our readers know this. We do this against adversity, and we will continue to do it despite the challenges. More than ever, our readers look to trusted sources, and over years, that is what we have become to them. And make no mistake, no amount of clickbait can ever manufacture the kind of respect and trust that we have earned for our readers, and that will continue. And so we just keep on keeping on, doing our jobs, keeping the faith. And it is truly an honor to be part of such a powerful, fundamentally important, vital part of democracy.
These aren't like delays
all of
in
us.
the video or like technology. Like, this is just.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suzette. That was inspiring, and thank you for reminding us of the importance of our mission. We'd like to take a moment now to remember and honor two huge legends of Maine journalism who passed away this year. Sorry, technical problem. I started in Maine journalism as the photographer in the York County Bureau of the Portland Press-Herald, and I got to know Bob Saunders, who was at the Journal Tribune, and just one of the nicest editors and nicest guys that I've ever met in journalism, and incredibly talented. He was a great editor, and he was a great reporter when he was reporting. And I read Abigail Curtis's story of Emmett Mira, and I never met him. But if you haven't read that story, you should. Emmett sounds like such a colorful character, and lived a very full life. So very sad to hear of the passing of both of them. So this brings us to tonight's award presentation. We are going to start off with, and I've done something a little bit different this for the virtual than I do in person. I've kind of mixed things up and moved photo awards around and some visual awards and writing awards. I tried to like strike a balance between the next 5 segments you're going to see. So things will be a little out of order than what you're used to when we're all in person together, but it'll still be good. So without further ado, let's kick into, we're going to look at some design awards and some advertising awards, and finish up the first segment with the Advertising Person of the Year. Okay, we're going to start off with our Page Design Awards and Advertising Awards. So let's kick right in. Front page design in the Weekly 1 division. 3rd place goes to Devin Higgins of the Heuristic Republican and News. 2nd place goes to Heidi Murphy of the Original Irregular. And 1st place goes to Jennifer Bryant of the York County Co-Star. In the Weekly 2 division, 3rd place goes to Kim Slauson and Sarah E. Reynolds of the Courier Gazette. 2nd place goes to Christine Dunkel and Stephanie Grinnell of the Courier Gazette. In 1st place, the Design and News staff of the Courier Gazette. A sweep in the division. The Daily Weekend division, 3rd place goes to Sharon Wood of the Morning Sentinel. 2nd place goes to Becky Bowden of the Bangor Daily News. In 1st place in front page design is Marla Hoffman of the Sun Journal. In the specialty page design, the Weekly 1 division, 2nd place goes to Jeremiah Savage of Island Advantages, and 1st place goes to Christine Dunkel of the Camden Herald. The Weekly 2 division, specialty page design, 3rd place goes to Christine Dunkel of the Republican Journal. 2nd place goes to Nadine Gilliland from the Mount Desert Island. Sorry, I was hoping I pronounced that right and it threw me off. Nadine Gilliland of the Mount Desert Islander. 1st place goes to Christine Dunkel of the Courier Gazette. In the Daily Weekend division, 3rd place goes to Linda Camp Davis of the Bangor Daily News. 2nd place goes to Jason Rathbun, Jack Hybert, and Catherine Skelton of the Sun Journal. And 1st place goes to Sally Terrell Erickson of the Portland Press-Herald. The sports page design in the Weekly 1 division, 3rd place goes to Ken Waltz of the Camden Herald. 2nd place goes to Jeremiah Savage of the Weekly Packet. And 1st place for sports page design goes to Jeremiah Savage, Island Advantages. In sports page design, Weekly 2 division, 3rd place goes to Ken Waltz of the Republican Journal. 2nd place goes to Ashley Carter of the Ellsworth American. And 1st place, Nadine Gilliland of the Mount Desert Islander. In Daily Weekend division, 3rd place goes to Joe McLaughlin of the Bangor Daily News. 2nd place goes to Bill Stewart and staff of the Kennebec Journal. And the 1st place goes to the staff of the Sun Journal. Moving on to the graphics category, in the Weekly 1 division, 3rd place goes to Cheryl Stabinski of the Callus Advertiser. 2nd place goes to Jeremiah Savage of the Weekly Packet. And 1st place goes to Jeremiah Savage of Island Advantages. In the Weekly 2 division, 3rd place goes to Jessica Willett of the Maine Monitor. Second place goes to David Fickett of the Ellsworth American. And first place in the Weekly 2 division for graphic is Sarah Hinckley and Barbara Tedesco of the Mount Desert Islander. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Sharon Wood of the Kennebec Journal. Second place goes to Michael Fisher of the Portland Press Herald. And first place for the Daily Weekend division graphic goes to Jason Rathbun of the Sun Journal. Moving on to the illustration category, this has a combined, the weekly 1 and 2 divisions are combined into one group, one division. And third place goes to Samantha Hogan of the Maine Monitor. Second place goes to Samantha Hogan of the Maine Monitor. And in first place for illustration in the weekly division, Christine Dunkel, the Courier Gazette. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to George Danby of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Jack Hybert of the Sun Journal. And first place goes to Michael Fisher of the Portland Press Herald. Moving into the advertising, did I jump through that too quick? Should I back up? Do you want to? I should have left that on the screen a little longer. Okay, now moving into the advertising awards. We'll go back through that. Third place, Jean Lamontanaro of the Castine Patriot. Second place is Heidi Anderson Belcher and Jody McKee of the Camden Herald. And Weekly 1 Division Best Local Ad first place goes to Pierre Little and Cheryl Stubinski of the Callis Advertiser. In the Weekly 2 Division for Best Local Ad, third place goes to Heidi Anderson Belcher and Jody McKee of the Republican Journal. Second place goes to the design and sales staff of the Courier Gazette. And in first place, Megan Heisen of the Lincoln County News. In the Daily Weekend division for Best Local Ad, third place we have Betsy Weiss and Lindsay LaBouffe of the Kennebec Journal. Second place is the staff of the Portland Press Herald. And in first place, Callie Picard of the Bangor Daily News. In the ad campaign or series category, Weekly 1 Division first place goes to Jean Lamontanaro of the Weekly Packet. In the Weekly 2 Division, third place goes to Amber Clark and Maya Zurich of the Lincoln County News. Second place goes to the staff of the Mount Desert Islander. And first place in the Weekly 2 Division for ad campaign or series is the staff of the Ellsworth American. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to the sales and creative staff of the Morning Sentinel. Second place goes to Carolina Rave and Callie Picard of the Bangor Daily News. And first place goes to the staff of the Portland Press Herald. Moving on to Supplement Special Section, Weekly 1 Division, third place goes to the staff of the Weekly Packet. Second place goes to the staff of Iowan Advantages. And first place goes to the staff of the Machias Valley News Observer. In the Weekly 2 Division, third place goes to the staff of the Ellsworth American. Second place goes to the design and sales staff of the Republican Journal. And first place for Supplement Special Section, Weekly 2 Division, is Christine Dunkel and sales staff of the Courier Gazette. In the weekly, or the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Nancy Fickett of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to the advertising and creative staffs of the Morning Sentinel. And first place for Supplement Special Section goes to Amy Allen of the Bangor Daily News. Supplement cover, Weekly 1 Division, third place goes to Jean Lamontanaro of the Weekly Packet. Second place goes to Christine Dunkel of the Camden Herald. And first place for supplement cover goes to Jean Lamontanaro of the Iowan Advantages. In the Weekly 2 Division, third place goes to David Fickett of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place goes to John Cross of the Republican Journal. And first place for supplement cover goes to the design staff of the Courier Gazette. Whoops, I jumped on that one too. Sorry. In the daily weekend division, third place goes to the staff of the Portland Press Herald. Second place goes to Lindsay LaBouffe of the Morning Sentinel. And first place for supplement cover goes to Callie Picard, Bangor Daily News. Moving on to the young reader engagement idea. This is again a combined weekly 1 and 2 division. Third place is Samantha Hogan of the Maine Monitor. Second place is Maya Zewert of the Lincoln County News. In first place for young reader engagement idea is staff of the Lincoln County News. In the daily weekend division, third place is the staff of the Portland Press Herald. Second place is the sales staff and Dawn Tantum of the Morning Sentinel. And first place is Callie Picard of the Bangor Daily News. Best circulation promo, again, a combined weekly division. Third place goes to the staff of the Lincoln County News. Second place goes to Steve Edwards of the Boothbay Register. And first place goes to Cheryl Stabinski and Pierre Little of the Cowes Advertiser. In the daily weekend division, second place goes to the staff of the Sun Journal. And first place is the staff of the Portland Press Herald. Best self-promotion in the weekly 1 division, third place goes to Jean Lamontanero of the Castine Patriot. Second place goes to Jean Lamontanero of Island Advantages. And in first place is a tie. Jean Lamontanero of the Weekly Packet and Cheryl Stabinski and Pierre Little of the Cowes Advertiser. Best self-promotion in weekly 2 division. Third place is Dan Dinsmore of the Maine Monitor. Second place is Amber Clark and Maya Zewert of the Lincoln County News. And first place for best self-promotion, Natalie Ladd of Portland Phoenix. In the daily weekend division for best self-promotion, third place we have Bridget Campbell of the Kennebec Journal. Second place is the staff of the Portland Press Herald. And in first place, Jake Law of the Morning Sentinel. Best new revenue idea, combined weekly division. Second place goes to Jana Smith of the Cowes Advertiser. And first place goes to Dan Dinsmore, Samantha Hogan, and Connie Connor of the Maine Monitor, formerly known as Pine Tree Watch. The daily weekend division for best new revenue idea. Third place is the advertising and creative staff of the Morning Sentinel. Second place is the advertising and creative staff of the Kennebec Journal. And first place goes to the staff of the Bangor Daily News. Best digital ad campaign in the combined weekly division. Third place goes to Jean Lamontanero of the Weekly Packet. Second place is Amber Clark of the Lincoln County News. And first place goes to Jean Lamontanero, the Castine Patriot. In the daily weekend division, third place goes to the staff of the Portland Press Herald. Second place goes to David Pierce and Jake Law of the Morning Sentinel. And first place for best digital ad campaign in the daily weekend division is Marcy Coombs of the Bangor Daily News. This now brings us to the Advertising Person of the Year Award, and this year's recipient is going to be introduced by DJ Martin, the Director of Advertising for the Portland Press Herald.
Hello, my name is DJ Martin. I am the Director of Advertising with the Portland Press Herald. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing you to your 2020 Maine Press Association Advertising Person of the Year. Before I announce who that winner is, I would like for you to hear from 2 of their co-workers about their experience working with this year's winner.
This nominee for the 2020 Advertising Salesperson of the Year Award was tasked in 2019 and 2020 with selling and producing a glossy little publication with some very big expectations. During this roller coaster ride, I witnessed her listening to clients saying, well, I'm in this year. Well, maybe I'm out this year. Well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. This roller coaster was ready to make her pull out her hair, I'll tell you that. But with her dedication and perseverance, she pulled it all together and had great success. Congratulations.
I sort of decided to grow a vegetable garden this summer, and just tongue in cheek at one of our weekly meetings mentioned that I had zucchini coming out of every corner of my yard, and had plenty to give away. And this one person stepped up to the plate and said, hey, maybe we can meet up and in a socially distant and safe way, and I'd love to grab some of those vegetables. So we did this, and I soon learned a couple of days later that this person took those zucchini and went home and ended up making 27 loaves of zucchini bread for families in need for the pandemic. So I was so impressed and just blown away.
Tonight's winner is a strong salesperson who can handle the utmost stresses. Local retail advertising sales requires persistence, curiosity, product knowledge and passion, acute listening skills, positivity, that's a big one, teamwork, relationship building, along with a strong orientation to goal achievement. Tonight's winner checks off all of those boxes and more. At any time, I can ask tonight's winner where they are in terms of sales numbers. Immediately, they can reply back with how many dollars away from plan they are, but also how many ads or campaigns that they need to sell to get them there. I can talk about tonight's winner's sales skills all night, actually. But a portion that I feel is often overlooked is who the salesperson is as a person outside of work. Tonight's winner not only volunteers their time to help the less fortunate, but also spends much time mentoring their peers and being an overall great teammate. If there's something in the office or someone that needs help with generating ideas, brainstorming, or just needs help with something in their personal life, tonight's winner is the first one to jump in and assist. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you to the 2020 Maine Press Association Advertising Salesperson of the Year, Joanne Alfiero. Congratulations, Joanne, and here are some other congratulations from some of your peers.
Hey, thanks for everything, Joanne. You're great. Congratulations again.
Hey, Joanne, I'm so excited to see you recognized as Salesperson of the Year. You so deserve it. I'm proud to have a friend and a coworker like you, and I can't wait to see what amazing things we partner on together. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations, Joanne. Well-deserved award. And I'm just going to give everybody a few seconds here to hit in the chat and congratulate Joanne before I move on to the next round. And while you do that, sorry if you see me like my earbud in my left ear keeps on falling out, so I keep on having to adjust it. And from here on out in the show, hey, this would keep the earbud in. I'm going to be wearing a hat every time I come back live. Yep. That's going to, be your indicator that it's no longer Memorex. It's the real deal. I'm back live and in person. And why am I doing this? One simple reason. Because I can. Okay. This one is not for sale in the MPA store, but it should be because it keeps your head warm in these cold Maine winters. That ends the first segment of awards, and we are going to move on to the second segment. There'll be some writing awards, some more photo awards. And so without further ado, I do want to say one thing to the folks, because I think there are some folks from the Callus Advertiser with us tonight, right? I just want to say that paper carrier ad, you're walking away with all the awards. You got so much mileage out of that. Okay. I can really hear everybody laughing. Do me a favor, send me a laughing emoji or something, or a thumbs down, something. Okay, with that, we're going to move on 2. Part 2.
Okay, now we're going to move on to some writing awards, a few photography categories, and the video categories. So starting off, we have news story in the Weekly 1 division. Third place is Daniel Dunkel of the Camden Herald. Second place goes to Pam Hardin of the Livermore Falls Advertiser. First place goes to Bill Pearson of the Boothbay Register. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Dick Broom of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place goes to Linda Clancy of the Penobscot Bay Press. And first place goes to Barbara Walsh of the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Lindsay Tice of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Taylor Abbott of the Morning Sentinel. In first place goes to Callie Ferguson and Josh Keefe of the Bangor Daily News. Spot news story in the Weekly 1 division, third place goes to Jana Smith, the Callus Advertiser. Second place goes to Annie Twitchell of the Original Irregular. And your first place winner is Jessica Patilla of St. John Valley Times. Moving on to the Weekly 2 division for spot news story, third place goes to Stephen Betts of the Courier Gazette. Second place goes to Liz Graves of the Mount Desert Islander. First place goes to Sarah Thompson of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Matt Byrne and Dennis Hoey of the Portland Press Herald. Second place goes to Amy Calder of the Morning Sentinel. And first place goes to Donna Perry, Russ Dillingham and staff of the Sun Journal. Moving on to political story in the Weekly 1 division, third place goes to Joseph Sear of the Holton Pioneer Times. Second place goes to Daniel Dunkel of the Camden Herald. In first place, Ruth Lubecker of the Machias Valley News Observer. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Sarah Thompson of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. Second place goes to Becky Pritchard of the Mount Desert Islander. And first place goes to Samantha Hogan, the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend division for political story, third place goes to Steve Collins of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Amy Calder of the Morning Sentinel. And first place goes to Caitlin Andrews and Michael Shepard of the Bangor Daily News. Moving on to court story in the Weekly 1 division, third place goes to Anne Burleon of the Weekly Packet. Second place goes to Jessica Potilla of the St. John Valley Times. First place goes to A.M. Sheehan of the Advertiser Democrat. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Becky Pritchard of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place goes to Douglas Rooks of the Portland Phoenix. First place, Sue Cover of the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Christopher Williams of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Callie Ferguson of the Bangor Daily News. First place goes to Eric Russell, Portland Press Herald. Moving on to investigative report category in the Weekly 1 division, third place goes to Sarah Craighead Dedman of the Machias Valley News Observer. Second place goes to Chris Bouchard of the Aroostook Republican and News. And first place goes to Sarah Craighead Dedman, Machias Valley News Observer. And Sarah, if you're listening to these or watching these awards, I've been shot down about forbidding people with 3 names to work for newspapers that have 4 names in them. So I came up with a new solution. Next year I'm going to charge by character. Just kidding. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Jordan Bailey of the Portland Phoenix. Second place goes to Samantha Hogan of the Maine Monitor. First place goes to Samantha Hogan, the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend division for investigative report, third place goes to Meg Robbins of the Morning Sentinel. Second place goes to Tux Turkle and Penelope Overton of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to Callie Ferguson and Aaron Rhoda of the Bangor Daily News. Moving on to a few photo awards, we're going to start with the news photo in the Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to Joseph Sear of the Holton Pioneer Times.
Second place goes to Nina Mahaleris of the Star Herald. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And first place in News Photo Weekly 1 division goes to Monique Labby of the Castine Patriot. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Stephen Betts of the Courier Gazette. Second place goes to Dick Broom of the Mount Desert Islander. And first place for News Photo in the Weekly 2 division goes to Evan Hout of the Lincoln County News. In the Daily Weekend division, News Photo third place goes to Joe Phelan of the Kennebec Journal. And second place goes to Rich Abrahamson of the Morning Sentinel. And first place News Photo goes to Ben McKenna of the Portland Press Herald. Spot News Photo in the Weekly 1 division, third place goes to Mark Robinson of Island Advantages. Second place goes to Ann Burleon of the Weekly Packet. And Spot News Weekly 1 division, first place goes to Joseph Charpentier, Booth Bay Register. And I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. This is part of the problem with not being at these things in person, because I can't get the pronunciations for names that haven't come on the radar before. So I apologize if I'm mangling them. In the Weekly 2 division, Spot News third place, Christine Simmons of the Courier Gazette. In second place is Liz Graves of the Mount Desert Islander. And in first place for Spot News Weekly 2 division, Kate Koff, the Ellsworth American. That one I should have figured out. All right, in the Daily Weekend division for Spot News, second place goes to Michael G. Siemens, I jumped ahead, of the Morning Sentinel. And in first place, we have Russ Dillingham of the Sun Journal. Moving on to the Video Awards. The videos are a combined weekly category. 1 and 2 are combined into 1. In third place, we have Eric Bailey and Samantha Hogan of the Maine Monitor. And in second place, we have Pierre Little of the Calais Advertiser. And in first place, we have Linda Clancy of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. The news video category in the Daily Weekend, third place goes to Russ Dillingham of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Linda Cohen-O'Kresick of the Bangor Daily News. And first place goes to Joe Phelan of the Kennebec Journal. In sports video in the weekly division, third place goes to Zach Miller of the Courier Gazette. Second place goes to Susan Johns of the Wiscasset newspaper. And sports video in the weekly division, first place goes to Morgan Mitchell of the St. John Valley Times. Sports video in the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Ben McKenna of the Portland Press Herald. Second place goes to Darren Slover of the Sun Journal. First place, sports video, goes to Troy Bennett of the Bangor Daily News. Feature video in the weekly division, third place goes to Pierre Little of the Calais Advertiser. Second place goes to Susan Johns of the Wiscasset newspaper. And first place goes to Charlie Stewart with the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend division for feature video, third place goes to Russ Dillingham of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Linda Cohen-O'Kresick of the Bangor Daily News. And first place goes to Gregory Reck, the Portland Press Herald. What? This brings us to the Unsung Hero Award. The winner of this year's Unsung Hero Award will be introduced by Larry Gilbert, the audience engagement editor for the Sun Journal.
Carl, where do I begin? Last year at about this time, you were up on stage to present this very same award to me. And now look how far we've come in the past year. That was last year, right? It seems like so long ago with all this virtual COVID stuff. And speaking of COVID, you, sir, have embraced this new normal with your daily morning emails to the newsroom. The ones that I still believe the Sun-Journal could monetize by marketing to the public. It was you that take what could have been a tough transition for most who have worked in newsrooms all their lives and gave your fellow reporters and editors hope that even in these unprecedented times, we can still share a laugh with you. Because we all know that besides those Greenwood Orchard apple donuts and Starbucks coffee, what really powered the Sun-Journal newsroom every day. But it goes beyond those morning emails. It's all about Carl and Natalie that I've gotten to know over the past 6 years, as more than a coworker, but as a friend. You are someone that always has and always will go above and beyond the job description. From your January presentations at our annual newsroom meetings, February and March high school basketball web pages, we give you a bit of time off in June for kayaking somewhere up north with some folks from Massachusetts, before getting back in time to curate a 4th of July fireworks display roundup and cover a few Kennedy Park fights. August is your favorite month, of course, as it lends itself to a weekend full of super early mornings at the Balloon Festival, so you can play the information booth, something you do quite well. And as fall arrives, most folks get excited about pumpkin spice everything, but for you it's a good deer or moose lottery morning. And who could forget all those November election nights and a third round of cold pizza at about 1 a.m. while you're posting the last of the stories to the web. And December starts your season of curating snow total maps and getting LaFlamme on a weather story, because we all know how much he loves weather stories. You are the guy that's there first and last to leave. And you not only work hard, but you have fun with it. The key to the Sun-Journal's success is its people, but every newsroom should have a Carl and Natalie to help power it day in and day out. That's the secret we've kept. Until now. This is well-deserved and long overdue. When I found out that you won, I did have to ask myself, would he have wanted this award or to see the Steelers win another Lombardi? I think you'll be waiting much longer for the latter of the two. This is your chance to put your Steelers socks wearing feet up on your desk, take your eyes off of Chartbeat, ignore all of the "Hey Carls" and "All you gotta do's" for the weekend, and enjoy this award. Hang this one proud in the Starbucks of your choosing, Turner Bureau, and let's hope you didn't lose power up there during this presentation. Congratulations, I'm proud of you. And in your own words, now be safe out there.
All right. Congratulations, Carl. Well deserved, well earned. I hope you appreciate the fact that I dug out this really old photo of you to compare to the new one. You look a little less gray. I think the same could be said for me. And thank you, Larry, for giving away the farm early on, since I did that last year when Carl was presenting you your award. Whoa, this is a lot of whiteness on a Santa hat. So again, congratulations, Carl, for your tireless work. And we are going to move on to some more writing awards, including editorial awards, and some photos in my personal favorite, the headline awards. So without further ado, let's kick into segment 3. Ho, ho, ho! All right, we're going to move on to some more writing awards, the editorial awards, a few more photo categories, and my favorite, the headlines. So starting off, we have analysis story in the Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to David Marino Jr. of the Star Herald. Second place goes to Anne Berliant of the Weekly Packet. First place goes to Stephen Betts of the Camden Herald. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Darren Fischel of the Maine Monitor. Hope I pronounced that right. Second place goes to Linda Clancy of the Penobscot Bay Press. And first place goes to Kendra Caruso of the Republican Journal. In the Daily Weekend division for analysis, third place goes to Jessica Piper of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Lindsay Tice of the Sun Journal. And first place is Randy Billings of the Portland Press Herald. In the continuing story category, Weekly 1 division, we have Anne Berliant of the Weekly Packet in third place, Nina Mahaleris of the Star Herald in second place, and Susan Mustapich of the Camden Herald in first place. In the Weekly 2 division, Third place, we have Peter Weed, Dan Dinsmore, and Gabe Souza of the Maine Monitor. Second place is Sue Cover, Julie Pike, and Dan Dinsmore of the Maine Monitor. In first place is Samantha Hogan and Dan Dinsmore of the Maine Monitor. Another clean sweep there. All three going to the Maine Monitor. Moving on to the Daily Weekend Division for Continuing Story. Third place goes to Keith Edwards of the Kennebec Journal. Second place goes to the staff of the Portland Press Herald. In first place, Abigail Curtis of the Bangor Daily News. The business story in the Weekly One Division, third place goes to David Marino Jr. of the Star Herald. Second place goes to Lisa Christoph of the Boothbay Register. And first place goes to Anne Berliant of the Weekly Packet. In the Weekly Two Division, third place is Fran Gonzalez of the Republican Journal. And second place goes to Peter Weed with the Maine Monitor. And first place goes to Darren Fischel of the Maine Monitor. In the Business Story Daily Weekend Division, third place goes to Catherine Skelton of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Taylor Abbott of the Morning Sentinel. And first place goes to Penelope Overton with the Portland Press Herald. In the Weekly One Division for Education Story, third place goes to Stuart Hedstrom of the Piscataquis Observer. Second place goes to Chris Bouchard of the Heuristic Republican and News. And first place goes to Joseph Charpentier of Boothbay Register. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Joseph. In the Weekly Two Division, third place goes to Johanna S. Billings of the Ellsworth American. Second place goes to Stephen Betts of the Courier Gazette. First place goes to Samantha Hogan, the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend Division, third place goes to Rachel Ohm of the Portland Press Herald. Second place goes to Isha Penharkar of the Bangor Daily News. And first place goes to Taylor Abbott of the Morning Sentinel. Health Story in the Weekly One Division, third place goes to Ruth Lubecker of the Machias Valley News Observer. Second place goes to Chris Bouchard of the Heuristic Republican and News. First place goes to Lisa Christoph of the Boothbay Register. In the Weekly Two Division, third place is Charlotte Boynton of the Lincoln County News. Second place goes to Christine Simmons of the Courier Gazette. And first place goes to Liz Graves, the Mount Desert Islander. In the Daily Weekend Division, third place goes to Meg Robbins of the Morning Sentinel. And second place goes to Lindsay Tice of the Sun Journal. And first place goes to Colin Woodard of the Portland Press Herald. Environmental Story in the Weekly One Division, third place goes to Jana Smith of the Calais Advertiser. Second place goes to Sarah Craighead-Dedman of the Machias Valley News Observer. And first place goes to Sarah Craighead-Dedman again of the Machias Valley News Observer. In the Weekly Two Division for Environmental Story, third place goes to Stephen Betts of the Courier Gazette. And second place goes to Marina Shelfler of the Maine Monitor. And first place goes to Stephen Rappaport of the Ellsworth American. In the Daily Weekend Division for Environmental Story, Andrew Rice is in third place with the Sun Journal. Second place is Kevin Miller of the Portland Press Herald. And first place is Matt Hongoltz and staff of the Morning Sentinel. Editorial Awards. For editorial in the Weekly One Division, third place goes to Nathaniel Barrows of the Weekly Packet. Second place goes to Nathaniel Barrows of Island Advantages. And first place goes to Stephen Porter, the York County Co-Star. In the Weekly Two Division, third place goes to Liz Graves of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place goes to the staff of the Republican Journal. And first place goes to Daniel Dunkel of the Courier Gazette. In the Daily Weekend Division, third place goes to Susan Young and Matt Junger of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Greg Kesich of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to Judith Meyer of the Sun Journal. In the opinion columnist, the weekly one division, we have Sean Sullivan in third place of the York County Coast-Star. And in second place, Paula Brewer of the Star Herald. And in first place, Ruth Lubecker, the Machias Valley News Observer. In the weekly two division, we have Andrew Marsters of the Portland Phoenix in third place, Randall Polton of the Republican Journal in second place, and Jill Goldthwait of the Mount Desert Islander in first place. The daily weekend division, third place is George Smith of the Kennebec Journal. Second place is Matt Gagnon of the Bangor Daily News. And first place is Greg Kesich of the Portland Press Herald. Moving on to the editorial cartoonist. Again, this is broken into just the weekly categories are combined. Third place is Joe Marshall of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place is E.A. Williams of the Star Herald. And first place for editorial cartoonist in the weekly division is Glenn Chadbourne of the Lincoln County News. In the daily weekend division, second place goes to Steve Myers of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to George Danby of the Bangor Daily News. For editorial page in the weekly one division, third place goes to the staff of the Calais Advertiser. Second place goes to the staff of the Machias Valley News Observer. And first place goes to the staff of the Camden Herald. In the weekly two division, third place goes to the staff of the Lincoln County News. Second place goes to the staff of the Ellsworth American. And first place goes to the staff of the Courier Gazette. In the daily weekend division for editorial page, third place goes to Ben Bragdon of the Morning Sentinel. Second place goes to Ben Bragdon of the Kennebec Journal. And first place goes to the staff of the Sun Journal. Moving on to a few more photo awards. Scenic photo in the weekly one division, third place goes to Eli Foreman of the Castine Patriot. Second place goes to Jana Smith of the Calais Advertiser. And first place in the weekly one division scenic photo goes to Annie Twitchell of the Original Irregular. In the weekly two division for scenic photo, third place goes to Jessica Clifford of the Lincoln County News. Second place goes to Sarah Hinckley of the Mount Desert Islander. And third place for scenic photo weekly two division, first place goes to Christine Simmons of the Courier Gazette. In the daily weekend division, scenic photo third place is Russ Dillingham of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Joe Phelan of the Kennebec Journal. And first place goes to Troy R. Bennett of the Bangor Daily News. People photo in the weekly one division, third place goes to Anne Berliant of the Weekly Packet. And second place goes to Joseph Sear of the Holton Pioneer Times. And the people photo, first place, weekly one division, goes to Nina Mahaleris of the Star Herald. In the weekly two division, people photo, third place goes to Sarah Thompson of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. Second place goes to Kendra Caruso of the Republican Journal. And first place, people photo in the weekly two division goes to Christine Simmons of the Courier Gazette. In the daily weekend division, people photo third place is Sean Patrick Willett of the Portland Press Herald. Second place, people photo is Linda Cohen Okresick of the Bangor Daily News. And first place, people photo is Michael G. Siemens of the Morning Sentinel. Moving on to some headlines. The news headline in the weekly one division, third place goes to Susan Johns of the Wiscasset newspaper. Second place goes to Anne Berliant of the Castine Patriot. And first place goes to Joseph Charpentier of the Boothbay Register. For Life is a Fish and Then You Fry.
In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Faith DeAmbrose of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place goes to Cindy Wood of the Ellsworth American. And first place for news headline in the Weekly 2 division is Dan Dinsmore of the Maine Monitor for Another Death in the Family. In Daily Weekend division for news headline, third place is Mark Latham and Carl Natali for the Sun Journal. Second place is the staff of the Bangor Daily News. And first place goes to Zach Aldrich of the Portland Press Herald for Jeopardy streak is over, but bartender gave it his best shot. Feature headline in the Weekly 1 division, third place goes to Jana Smith of the Callous Advertiser. And second place goes to Jess Beer of the Original Irregular. And first place for feature headline is Jackson Long of the Camden Herald for Strolling Through the Colon. I have to imagine that headline might have been hard for some people to digest. Oh, where's the pun jar? I don't have the pun jar with me. In the Weekly 2 division, third place, Letitia Baldwin of the Ellsworth American. Second place is staff of the Maine Monitor. And in first place is Evan Hauk of the Lincoln County News for Time Marches On for Damariscotta's Historic Town Clock. Feature headline in the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Ben Panett of the Kennebec Journal. Second place goes to Sally Terrell Erickson of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to the staff of the Bangor Daily News for The Buzz of Penobscot County. Eddington 7-year-old, a skilled beekeeper who is swarmed with praise. I'm not going to say that maybe those headlines made people break out in hives because that would be over the top. Sports headline in the Weekly 1 division. Third place is Heidi Murphy of the Original Irregular. Second place is Stuart Hedstrom of the Piscataquis Observer. And in first place for sports headline is Ken Waltz of the Camden Herald for Shoot, Let's Have a Party. U.S. National Toboggan Championships celebrate anniversary in style. In the Weekly 2 division for sports headline, third place is Ken Waltz of the Republican Journal. Second place is Paula Roberts of the Lincoln County News. And in first place for sports headline is Ken Waltz of the Courier Gazette for Shell-Shocked, Griffith sinks others in lobster crate gauntlet. In the Daily Weekend division for sports headline, second place goes to Bob Kahn of the Times Record. And first place goes to Lee Horton of the Sun Journal for Kicking It with Family. Monmouth's Fletchers share love of soccer. That brings us to the Bob Drake Young Writer Award. This year's winner will be introduced by Greg McManus, the city editor of the Morning Sentinel.
At the Morning Sentinel, we were fortunate to have Meg Robbins as a reporter for almost 2 years. She came to us as a talented writer and reporter who could also produce engaging video that complemented her written stories. She left us a more mature and determined journalist who pushed herself to dig out the facts that make a story, put them in context that explain their ramifications, and left readers with a better understanding of what was significant. Her video complemented her writing. Her video of students walking out of class at Lawrence High School to protest the resignation of the school principal gave the reader a look at the behavior of the students during their silent protest, as well as the opportunity in her writing to hear their voices. Her analysis of the conflicts of interest that arise in small rural towns, specifically publicly elected town officials voting on budget issues that personally benefit from, led her to a conclusion that had more to do with practicality than any crusade for judgment. Her focus on one of two doctors in central Maine who provide medical care to LGBTQ patients touched on the difficulties the doctor had in receiving training that was applicable to that population, as well as the obstacles those patients face in rural communities of Maine. Meg's road sealant stories represent the apex of where her reporting and writing had developed within the time restraints of this year's MPA. She laid out in detail an accident that occurred and the driver's luck in being able to walk away from it. She explained the problems with the road sealant that could not be denied by the state, and after the story appeared, the Department of Transportation suspended the use of the fog sealant. The questions raised by Meg in her reporting and making her case in the writing were those arguments the state used in justifying the cessation of the use of fog sealant. She could look at her work in this and know that the digging she had done, the complexities of the story that she had explained clearly, the facts she had presented, led to a decision by the state that made the roads safer for all. That Meg found herself a managing editor of Pine Tree came as no surprise to us. She has a penchant for organization, reads people well, has a feel for a good story, has the perspicacity to know what makes a good story. She demonstrated that time and again at the Morning Sentinel. It is but a token of appreciation that we nominated her for the Maine Press Association's Bob Drake Young Writer of the Year Award. We are glad that you share in that appreciation by naming her the Young Writer of 2020.
All right. Congratulations to Meg on that award. And like you said, she has moved on as managing editor of the Maine Monitor, the former Pine Tree Watch. So, and if you haven't gone to their website, you should check out. They're doing some great work there. And Dan, I know that Dan is happy to have Meg on his team there. So before we move on to the next segment, this hat is my son's and it's too small. I got to bring up a few things. One, we're going to go beyond 6. That's just how it's going to go. Where else are you going tonight, huh? What else could you want to be doing besides hanging out here? So we're going to go beyond 6, and let me tell you, nobody is more disappointed about that fact than my kids, because they've all been kicked off the internet until I'm done with this. But I also want to bring up a huge gaffe in my awards presentation. Linda Clancy works for the Penobscot Bay Pilot, not Press. Linda, I actually did that on purpose. I do a really bad gaffe every year in the hopes that somebody's going to fire me from this job, and it just never seems to happen. That was my gaffe this year. I figured, well, if I don't get the paper right for the incoming president, they gotta can me, right? Right? Another item is that we have raised, I can't see the number without my glasses. We have raised $2,590 from the auction, so that's fabulous. Thank you all for your bidding. A reminder that the silent auction is open until 9 p.m. So even when this is over, you can go check out what the bids are in the silent auction and get your hands on those whoopie pies. I don't know, I think Linda and Diane had a bidding war going on earlier today. So with that, we will now move on to the next segment of awards. There'll be some writing awards, some feature writing awards, and some more photos, and we'll have the sports writing awards. So without further ado, let's go.
Okay, we're going to move on to more writing awards and more photo awards and the sports writing awards. So let's start with Arts Lifestyle Feature in the Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to Lisa Christoph of the Booth Bay Register. Second place goes to Anne Berliant of the Castine Patriot. And first place, Anne Berliant of the Weekly Packet. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Christine Dunkel of the Courier Gazette. Second place goes to Sarah Hinckley of the Mount Desert Islander. And first place goes to Kate Kopp of the Ellsworth American. In the daily weekend division, third place goes to Bob Keyes of the Portland Press Herald. Second place goes to Mark Laflamme of the Sun Journal. And first place goes to Hannah LeClaire of the Times Record. In the food story, the weekly one division, third place goes to Melissa Lizotte of the Star Herald. Joseph Sear of the Holton Pioneer Times takes second, and in first place, Tina Oddleifson of the Weekly Packet. In the weekly two division, third place is Evan Hauk of the Lincoln County News. Second place is Sarah Hinckley of the Mount Desert Islander, and first place is Wendy Anderson of the Courier Gazette. In the daily weekend division, third place goes to Lindsay Tice of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Meredith Goad of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to Sam Shipani, Bangor Daily News. Moving on to Religion Spirituality Story, weekly one division, third place goes to Natalie Boomer of the Callous Advertiser. Okay, wait, I just got to pause for a moment. So Natalie, we've never met, I don't know you, but I'm curious, like over the past year, like if you've said something that people have maybe found doubtful, have you had a lot of people come back to you and say, okay, Boomer? You know, the problem with telling jokes to a camera is it doesn't laugh. It doesn't think I'm funny. Shocker. Okay, moving on, weekly one. Second place, Morgan Mitchell, St. John Valley Times. And in first place for Religion Spirituality Story is Anne Berliant of the Castine Patriot. In the weekly two division, third place goes to Jessica Clifford of the Lincoln County News. Second place goes to Daniel Dunkel, the Courier Gazette. And first place goes to Sarah E. Reynolds of the Republican Journal. In the daily weekend division, third place goes to Judy Harrison of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Scott Thistle of the Portland Press Herald. And first place for Religion Spirituality Story goes to the staff of the Sun Journal. Moving on to a local columnist of the weekly one division, third place goes to Morgan Mitchell of the St. John Valley Times. Second place goes to Paula Brewer of the Heuristic Republican and News. And first place goes to Dee Minier of the Franklin Journal. In the weekly two division, third place goes to Natalie Ladd of the Portland Phoenix. Second place goes to Chris Ferraza of the Courier Gazette. And first place goes to Emma Testerman of the Courier Gazette. In the daily weekend division, third place goes to Bill Nemitz of the Portland Press Herald. Second place goes to Mark Laflamme of the Sun Journal. And first place goes to Sam Shipani of the Bangor Daily News. The Critics Award in the weekly one division, third place goes to John Reisman of the Callous Advertiser. Second place goes to Lisa Christoph of the Booth Bay Register. First place goes to R.J. Heller of the Machias Valley News Observer. In the weekly two division, third place goes to Kristen Lindquist of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. Second place goes to Evan Hauk of the Lincoln County News. And first place goes to Dick Broom of the Mount Desert Islander. In the daily weekend division, third place goes to Judy Harrison of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Andrew Ross of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to Rob Tukey of the Sun Journal. Moving on to Outdoors Story, the weekly one division, third place goes to Melissa Lizotte of the Star Herald. Second place goes to Susan Johns of the Wiscasset newspaper. Sorry, Susan, I left out the middle S there. And first place goes to Jessica Potilla of the St. John Valley Times. In the weekly two division, third place goes to Kate Koff of the Ellsworth American. Second place goes to Ken Waltz of the Republican Journal. And first place is Ken Waltz and Holly Venor Spicer of the Courier Gazette. In the daily weekend division for Outdoors Story, have a tie in third place between Aislinn Cernacki of the Bangor Daily News and Deirdre Fleming of the Portland Press Herald. In second place, we have Amy Calder of the Morning Sentinel. And in first place, Lindsay Tice of the Sun Journal. Moving on to feature story in the Weekly One division, third place goes to Susan Mustapich of the Camden Herald. Second place goes to Sean Sullivan of the York County Coast-Star. And first place goes to Sarah Craighead Dedman, Machias Valley News Observer. In the Weekly Two division, third place goes to Ken Waltz of the Courier Gazette. Second place goes to Samantha Hogan of the Maine Monitor. And first place goes to Steve Soloway of the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend division for feature story, third place goes to Steve Collins of the Sun Journal. Second place goes to Troy R. Bennett of the Bangor Daily News, thereby proving that yes, photographers actually can write occasionally. We can put words down on paper. Sometimes they make sense. First place goes to Rob Wolf of the Portland Press Herald. All right, moving on to photo categories. We have feature photo. In the Weekly One division, third place goes to Kevin Burnham of the Boothbay Register. Second place goes to Chris Bouchard of the Heuristic Republican and News. And in first place is Jana Smith of the Callus Advertiser. In the Weekly Two division, third place goes to Sarah Thompson of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. Second place goes to Holly Venor Spicer of the Courier Gazette. And in first place is Gabe Sousa of the Maine Monitor. I guess you could say you really have to hand it to him for getting first place with that photo. Hey, wait, where's the pun jar? It's still missing. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Troy R. Bennett of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Michael G. Siemens of the Morning Sentinel. And in first place, feature photo is Gregory Reck, Portland Press Herald. Wait a minute, that name rings a bell. Seems very familiar to me for some reason. Moving on. Okay, moving into picture story, the Weekly One division. Third place is staff of the Boothbay Register. And in second place, we have Monique Labby of the Castine Patriot. And in first place, we have Paula Brewer of the Star Herald. In the Weekly Two division for picture story, third place goes to Fran Gonzalez of the Republican Journal. In the Going, Going, Gone entry is second place with Cindy Wood of the Ellsworth American. First place picture story in the Weekly Two division is BC Cameron Yee of the Lincoln County News. I hope I pronounced that correctly. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Troy R. Bennett of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Brianna Sokup of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to Michael G. Siemens of the Morning Sentinel. Whoops, I jumped ahead a little too fast on that one. Okay, we're moving on to sports photo. In the Weekly One division, third place goes to Franklin Brown of the Weekly Packet. Second place goes to Joseph Sear of the Heuristic Republican and News. And first place for Weekly One sports photo, Joseph Sear, the Star Herald. In the Weekly Two division, third place goes to Holly Venor Spicer of the Courier Gazette. Second place goes to Zach Miller of the Republican Journal. And in first place, Zach Miller, the Republican Journal. In the Daily Weekend division for sports photo, third place, we have Joe Phelan of the Kennebec Journal. And in second place, we have Derek Davis of the Portland Press Herald. And first place for sports photo in the Daily division, we have Michael G. Siemens of the Morning Sentinel. Now, moving on to the sports writing stories. We will kick off with the game story in the Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to Ken Waltz and Zach Miller of the Camden Herald. Second place goes to Sarah Craighead-Dedwin of the Machias Valley News Observer. And in first place, Mark Haskell of the Camden Herald. In the Weekly 2 division, third place is Linda Clancy of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. Second place is Mark Haskell of the Courier-Gazette. And in first place is Mark Haskell, the Republican Journal. In the Daily Weekend division for Game Story, third place is Travis Lazarzik of the Morning Sentinel. Travis, if I am messing up your last name, I apologize. Second place is Randy Whitehouse of the Sun Journal. And in first place is Ernie Clark of the Bangor Daily News. What just happened? Shit.
Oh no. What happened with the video?
All right, moving on to the sports news story in the Weekly 1 division. Third place is Joseph Sear of the Holton Pioneer Times. Second place is Jessica Potilla of the St. John Valley Times. And in first place, we have Zach Miller of the Camden Herald. In the Weekly 2 division, third place is Mark Haskell of the Republican Journal. Second place is Mark Haskell of the Courier-Gazette. And first place is Mark Haskell of the Courier-Gazette. Nice job sweeping the category, Mark. In the Daily Weekend, third place, Randy Whitehouse of the Sun Journal. Second place is Travis Lazarzik of the Morning Sentinel. And first place is Drew Bonifant of the Kennebec Journal. Moving on to Sports Profile, Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to Morgan Mitchell of the St. John Valley Times. Second place goes to Monique Labby of the Castine Patriot. And first place goes to Zach Miller of the Camden Herald. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to Sarah Hinckley of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place goes to Holly Venor Spicer of the Courier-Gazette. And first place goes to Ken Waltz, the Republican Journal. In the Daily Weekend division for Sports Profile, third place goes to Ernie Clark, Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Will Kramlich of the Sun Journal. In first place is Drew Bonifant of the Kennebec Journal. Moving on to sports columnists in the Weekly 1 division, third place goes to Zach Miller of the Camden Herald. Second place goes to Monique Labby of the Weekly Packet. In first place is Ken Waltz, the Camden Herald. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to George Harvey of the Penobscot Bay Pilot. Second place goes to Holly Venor Spicer of the Republican Journal. And first place goes to Ken Waltz, the Republican Journal. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to Ernie Clark of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to Drew Bonifant of the Kennebec Journal. And first place goes to Travis Lazarzik of the Morning Sentinel. Sports section, Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to Phil Stewart and John Rogers of the Machias Valley News Observer. Second place goes to the staff of the Cowlitz Advertiser. And first place goes to the staff of the Camden Herald. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to the staff of the Mount Desert Islander. Second place goes to Mike Mandel of the Ellsworth American. And in first place, the staff of the Courier-Gazette. The Daily Weekend division, third place is staff of the Portland Press Herald. Second place is Bill Stewart and staff of the Kennebec Journal. And in first place, the staff of the Sun Journal. That wraps up our sports awards. We're going to move on to the Best in Show photos. This is one photo from each division, weekly 1, 2, and daily weekend. And this is the judges choose one photo out of everything that was entered. It can be a photo that's already won an award, or it could be a photo that didn't, for some reason, place in any of the categories. So, a Best in Show photo, the weekly 1 division, Brooklyn Fire by Eli Foreman of the Weekly Packet. In the weekly 2 division, Bell Ringer by Evan Haupt of the Lincoln County News. And in the daily weekend division, Fire Chief by Michael G. Siemens of the Morning Sentinel. And that now brings us to the Journalist of the Year Award. And this year's recipient for the Journalist of the Year will be introduced by John Richardson, the Metro editor for the Portland Press-Herald.
You probably heard the old saying about watchdog reporting that goes, journalism is printing what someone doesn't want printed, and everything else is public relations. It's not really clear who said that first, but our Journalist of the Year gets it. This person is fiercely loyal to the reader, understands the commitment to hold the powerful accountable, to ask difficult questions, and then get the receipts and the emails and the numbers. To make sure public business is done in public and to not hold back when it means making the job harder, like facing attacks on social media or being called fake news. I'll tell you a little bit more about this person, but first let's do this. The envelope, please. And the winner is the bearded one, Randy Billings. As Portland City Hall reporter, Randy's stories have had a big impact on Portland. He's made government more transparent, restaurants cleaner, housing safer, but his stories also have a statewide impact. A good example was last year when a Portland City Councilor proposed a ban on facial recognition technology. Randy fired off a pile of FOAs. He wanted to find out what Maine law enforcement agencies were using for digital surveillance tools and how, and the answer he got back from the Maine State Police was pretty much exactly what you don't want to tell Randy Billings if you want him to go away. It was something like, we refuse to confirm or deny the existence of such tools, which of course led to a different story about secrecy. And it turned out the Maine State Police had used facial recognition technology, but were refusing to tell the public about it because of an obscure Maine law. That story led to a bill to eliminate that secrecy law, and the bill is still pending because of the pandemic. During the year, he broke the story and covered the wave of asylum seekers who arrived from Africa after traveling through Central America and Mexico across the southern border to Texas, finally to Maine. He covered a historic mayoral race, most expensive in city history, with dark money and dueling ethics complaints. He covered the contentious effort to find a new site for a homeless shelter in Portland, and in the process uncovered a secret city council meeting, something that he seems to find every so often in Portland. When the coronavirus pandemic hit, his investigative instincts and his thick skin landed him on a small watchdog team assigned to root out wrongdoing, find problems with the state's response, crunch the numbers. He wrote a series of stories about the racial disparity in COVID-19 cases, revealed how a nursing home had failed to keep its residents safe, and uncovered the shortcomings in the state's response to a wave of unemployment claims. So Maine, and especially Portland, Maine is lucky to have Randy Billings watching. Randy, if you're watching now, congratulations, cheers, sláinte.
That might be the theme music if you see Randy Billings coming and you've got something to hide. Randy, well-earned award. You tirelessly chase down the stories and the things that people want to keep hidden in all over Maine and Portland in particular. So my hat's off to you. I saved the best hat of the night for the end. with good reason. It's too small for my head and doesn't stay on very well. No, there's another reason. We are now at the point in the presentation where it's the moment you've all been waiting for. We are moving on to the big ones. We are going to start off with the Freedom of Information Awards, and then we're going to move on to the General Excellence Awards. So without further ado, Banos!
Okay. I know your eyes and your brains are beginning to glaze over, but we're in the home stretch. So stick with me here. We're moving on to the Freedom of Information Awards and the General Excellence Awards. So again, Freedom of Information is a combined weekly division. 1 and 2 are combined together. In third place, we have the staff of the Courier-Gazette. In second place, we have the staff of the Camden Herald. And in first place, Samantha Hogan of the Maine Monitor. In the daily weekend division for Freedom of Information, third place goes to Isha Penharkar, of the Bangor Daily News. Second place goes to the staff of the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to the staff of the Sun Journal. Moving on to General Excellence in Advertising, the Weekly 1 division. Third place is the Original Irregular. Second place is the Booth Bay Register. And first place, the Callus Advertiser. Pausing for applause. We good? Oh, okay. General Excellence in Advertising, Weekly 2 division. Third place goes to the Lincoln County News. Second place goes to the Ellsworth American. And first place for General Excellence in Advertising, Weekly 2 division, is the Mount Desert Islander. Didn't pause nearly long enough for applause there. All right, in the Daily Weekend division for General Excellence in Advertising, third place, the Bangor Daily News. Second place, the Kennebec Journal. And in first place, the Portland Press Herald. Moving on to General Excellence Digital, Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to the Callus Advertiser. Second place goes to Wiscasset Newspaper. In first place, in General Excellence Digital, Weekly 1, the Camden Herald. In the Weekly 2 division, third place goes to the Courier-Gazette. Second place goes to the Penobscot Bay Pilot. And first place for General Excellence Digital Weekly 2 division is the Maine Monitor. In the Daily Weekend division, third place goes to the Sun Journal. Second place goes to the Portland Press Herald. And first place goes to centralmaine.com. Moving on to General Excellence in Print, the Weekly 1 division. Third place goes to the Star Herald. Second place goes to the Weekly Packet. First place, General Excellence in Print, Weekly 1 division, is the York County Coast Star. In the Weekly 2 division for General Excellence in Print, third place is the Courier-Gazette. Second place, the Republican Journal. First place, General Excellence in Print Weekly 2 division, the Ellsworth American. General Excellence in Print, the Daily division, and this is an instance where daily and weekend are broken into two categories. The Daily division, the third place is the Morning Sentinel. Second place is the Bangor Daily News. And first place, Portland Press Herald. And for the weekend division for general excellence in print, third place is Central Maine Sunday. Second place is the Bangor Daily News. And first place is the Maine Sunday Telegram. That is it. We have reached the end of our presentation, and I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I recorded those a couple of weekends ago, or a couple of weeks ago, so I wasn't quite sure whether that was going to end it or I was going to end it live. So I'm back. Congratulations to all the General Excellence winners. The staffs worked so hard to put out such a great product, and you all deserve the recognition. I would like to take a moment to thank our virtual venue partners from Velo Virtual. Siraj is your production engineer who has been making this whole thing look so seamless. And we've had help from Roxana and Mark as well, just with the logistics. As you can well imagine, all of these moving pieces are incredibly complicated to put together, time out, and transition. So a huge, huge thanks to the folks at Velo Virtual. Really hope that we all get to see each other in person next year for the awards presentation and celebration and the annual conference. I would love to see you all in person. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. And I know you're really curious, so I'm going to show you. This is what, I got to do it. This is what the setup looks like here in the bonus room above the garage. Good thing we had the space. So again, congratulations to everyone. I want to remind you that the silent auction is active until 9 p.m. So go in there and outbid Diane and Linda on those whoopie pies. And we hope to see you all next year. And thanks again, and good night.
He realized that she was new to love.
Good going, Greg.
Woo! Every schoolboy